Like photography, it's a relatively new art form and so defies any comparison with traditional Western art. It allows her to explore and assert her ethnicity.
It's very close up and they look like stained glass. You don't know what the image is. And the voiceover is two Arab women speaking together in an animated voice, and you don't know, you can't make sense of it. And it takes a long time for you to realize what you're looking at. Sit back and just let it flow over your head. Now it feels like the house has lost its soul. I wish this bloody war would be over soon, so you and your sisters can return. And we'll all be together. I used as biographical material to construct the tape from mostly letters from my mother in Lebanon. And the letters were translated into English by me and read on the voiceover. So, if you like, the relationship of mother and daughter are trying to console you because you were very upset at the sight of the blood. And you were crying very hard. If I remember well, I said you should consider yourself very lucky to be a woman, because you only have to think about it once a month, whereas men have to shave every day. I'm also trying to go against the stereotype of what an Arab woman is or how she is seen. So here I am showing my mother as a mother, as sexually active person who's talking openly about her sexuality, as someone who is giving advice to her daughter in a very open-minded way, which I feel like sometimes some of my English friends have said, oh, your mother is much more open than mine. So I wanted to deconstruct this idea of the Arab woman being a passive, sort of veiled woman who just stays at home and keeps her mouth shut. I've been enjoying your letters enormously, and I enjoy answering your questions, although they are sometimes weird and too probing for my liking, away from this terrible war that seems to go on forever. Displacement, disorientation, loss, a sense of loss that carries you through the tape. Trying to make a portrait using reflections of exile and displacement. Someone who's trying to reassemble an identity for herself out of the confusion of the different inputs into her life. So I try to construct it in such a way that every frame speaks of closeness and distance. The images of my mother have been taken from, a close distance, and also it's a very intimate situation. And also the letters in Arabic laid over the image become a barrier, a veil. Some people saw the Arabic writing as balm. You get this sort of claustrophobic feeling in the tunnel when you walk in. But I wanted to contradict it with that sort of feeling of maybe hope that comes from that light shining down the manhole. So I basically created a station using the bars to block off the end and then take
It's very difficult. As an artist, one is from a certain class and race, but those are the things that go into making your work what it is. It gets to the point where you are only perceived as, we need an Asian artist or we need a black artist, and so the work does not necessarily get perceived as itself. And even when you deal with issues which are global, they still get marginalized just by the nature of who you are.
Women need to announce their sexuality and their culture if they're to widen the artistic agenda in the West, which is predominantly white and male. Perhaps then their position would no longer be marginal, but it might be regarded as one which gives access to a rich and varied experience.
When work is taken for itself, with it being shown, with it being seen, with a greater understanding, then there is hope. And if there isn't, then I think we have to keep on trying anyway.